G'day guys, Josh here. Got my picks here ready for Cologne. Now we'll probably be doing the opening rounds until the play-ins are done. But like I said, the main thing is with the other video for the rest of Cologne, it could be a bit late. I'm not terribly too sure because I do work and the games start literally the day after another. So after the play-ins, it goes to the main event quite quickly. Now also, I don't know the seeding and what they're going to use for the event either. So I'm not sure which team's going to go where, versus the rest as well. I'm going to tell realistically what the chances of winning are for those teams respectively in the Cologne, but we're going to go through the play-ins currently at the moment as well. Now for the first play-in, we've got Heroic v Sprout. Now this should be pretty easy for Heroic. I mean, probably Sprout's probably the most inconsistent team, but they do show up and can beat bigger teams. But I think Heroic should have the firepower to be able to pair off and take out Sprout here. It should be good enough. Then you got Mouse v Pain. Pain's fading away fast after being one of the harder working teams and had to really push through. But I think they're going to go down as well. Mouse are just really going from strength to strength. New Orpa, Torsi, you got JDC, Dexter, IGL. This team's looking like it's got really high potential in Mouse. And I feel a bit sorry for Pain because Pain have worked so hard and played so well, and they're not looking good at the moment at all. Spirit v Complexity. Spirit, they lost Dexter, but like I said, they still got some firepower in them, and have been showing that, despite losing Dexter, that they've got some spirit. Ironically, calling their name, of course. And I think Spirit's going to go through here, beat Complexity. Complexity, Junior has not had a positive game for quite a while. In fact, still had one positive game. Actually, it was quite recently. My bad, Junior. But Junior hasn't really worked his spot out as the AWP role. And Complexity are beginning probably to run out of time on him as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets benched when the next American AWP becomes available. Next up, we've got Zero Zero Nation v Astralis. And this is probably the trap game. Even though I've backed Astralis here, Zero Zero Nation impressed pretty well at the previous event, being ESL Challenger, and they beat a few teams that I didn't expect them to beat, given the fact that they've been the perennial disappointments in the scene recently, where they have great players, but just never ever actually works on paper, and they've not really performed. With the addition of Taco, Try, and a few others as well, they've actually turned things around, and, they could actually win this game against Astralis. Astralis, you got Blame F, who's basically solo carry sometimes, and if any of his players turn up, I feel like they should win this. I reckon 2-1. With the other games of Spirit v Complexity, Spirit should be 2-0, Mouse should be 2-0, and Heroic should be 2-0. Big v Order. Big should win this 2-0. Order, they've been really out of sorts. They've changed IGL. They probably haven't got the key core available yet. They haven't got the IGL and tactics on suit yet. Big have just got everything running, okay? And basically a few weeks ago, people were wondering when they're going to kick Tizian. And I'm like, why would they kick Tizian? Like, why would they? Tizian's part one of their core 3 with Sirison and Tabson. And it will definitely be a big mistake kicking out Tizian. Anyway, Big should win this 2-0. Order, they've got to show something here. If they don't show anything, if they don't get over 10 rounds, they've got to have something big here. They've got to potentially maybe try and grab an IGL. Maybe that could be the call. But, big calls have to be made here because you can't underperform at too many of these tournaments. I know it's against Big, but you need to make a statement here, get a list of above 10 rounds. That's my opinion. Outside of the Imperial have just been getting worse and worse and worse. They're in a worse situation than a few other teams in these tournaments, and Imperial going to get 2-0 deal. And I think they're not going to even be competitive. The major was effectively, they're funnily enough, their last dance. And I gotta say, I don't know how they got into this tournament, pretty honest, because their previous form has been absolutely putrid, and it's not been very good. I'm not saying this, just to, appreciate or confirmation bias or anything like that. They've been playing really poor CS. They've been losing to Tier 2 EU teams that they shouldn't be losing against, and teams they should be realistically beating. Now, MIBR and Movistar. MIBR on the other end, though, it's on the up and up, but they just can't get any consistency. MIBR must be probably one of the most inconsistent teams. They did perform semi-well at ESL Challenger. I expected them a grand final berth, but they got eliminated in the semi-finals by eventual winners, I believe. The eventual winners, Movistar Riders. To be fair, Movistar played very well, and MIBR obviously a bit flaky here and there, and Movistar took full advantage of it. And I feel Movistar Riders will probably win here, even though they may have had a home crowd advantage buff. I think Movistar Riders have got in a bit of form after winning ESL Challenger, especially against taking out MIBR as well, getting their revenge. So it'll be a bit of a revenge match for MIBR. Anyways, Tyloo v Vitality. Vitality should win this. Tyloo, even though they spent all that time in Europe, the base camp, they still performed very poorly in the ESL Pro League play-in, the Challenger Conference area. They still played very poorly, which is very disappointing for them as well, as they were crushed really bad by Illumina, okay? Really bad. Weren't even competitive at all. Now after that, we get the upper bracket and the lower bracket. So the upper bracket will be Heroic v Mouse. Heroic should win that against Mouse, even though Mouse has improved so much. I do not see them beating the experienced side of Heroic. Heroic should really get the job done, get the 2-0 and get to the final stage. If they do not, it's just anything but a failure. If I'm going to be completely honest with Heroic, if they don't go through 2-0, I think it's a bit of a failure on their part because they're seen as the they could probably have the most pressure under them. They're probably seen as the informed team at the moment, even with the loss of Refresh. Next up will be Spirit v Astralis. And Spirit v Astralis, I think Spirit should win that. I don't think Astralis need more of the players to get on rhythm and get fragging out. It can't be just blame F. And Spirit will expose this immensely. And basically, it will just be Spirit going through. Once again, they'll prove that the Major wasn't a fluke. They're actually a very, very good team. And unfortunately for Dupree, he's not on the team. And he can't be like, who's your most competitive opponent? Team Spirit? I love that clip from Frankie, by the way. It's such a good clip. Big V Outsiders. Outsiders should win this. Outsiders, I don't know, joke play by the round, but they should be able to eke out a few wins here against Big. 16-4, 16-4 maybe, or maybe 16-14. I'm not even too sure. Big should be able to squeeze past Outsiders here. Now, next one is Movistar v Vitality. I feel like Vitality are going to win this. Movistar, it's going to be really close. Vitality haven't really been on kilter at the moment, and Movistar operating off a previous form hype. I think it'll be close to 1. It'll be a bit of an upset that Vitality win this. Everyone will just go pick Movistar, given the fact that they won ESL Valencia, Challenger Valencia. But I think Vitality will give a bit of a chin check, and we'll have a Vitality qualification. So far, it'll be Heroic, Spirit, Astralis, and Vitality qualifying via the upper bracket. Now to the lower bracket. Let's get to those matchups. So first one will be Sprout v Pain. Sprout should win this. Pain haven't been looking too good. Sprout have been looking semi-decent at the moment. Next one will be Complexity. By the way, the lower bracket isn't on here. There's no fantasy thing where I can move teams around. Next one will be Complexity v 00 Nation. 00 Nation should win that one. I don't expect Complexity to go to win any BO3s. I think they're just one and done. I think they're just 2 and out. Order v Imperial. I think Order is going to win this one. Imperial, I'm going to say, I think Order can beat them. Order will beat them probably 2-1. Imperial, if you look at the map picks and stuff like that, Order are actually a lot stronger than Imperial's map picks, especially, and also Order can win Imperial's map picks as well. And Imperial have been looking pretty meh, to be honest, where I think Order can beat them as well, because Order's probably on those same areas of Tier 2 EU team at the moment. Tyloo v MIBR. MIBR should knock poor Tyloo out. Not really much Tyloo can do. I think MIBR is going to be a strong opponent in the lower bracket, and MIBR is probably going to be a team that everyone wants to avoid, other than, teams coming in from the upper bracket. And let's talk about that. So with the upper bracket, guys, if you lose the upper bracket, you go to the other side of the lower bracket. So let's just scroll down here very quickly to show you. So basically, let's just say Heroic lost, Sprout lost in the upper bracket, or no, not Sprout, sorry, Mouse lost in the upper bracket. They'll go to the lower bracket down here instead, as you guys can see here. They'll go down here instead. Okay? So basically, Mouse will drop to the bottom one, just to make sure you guys are aware. So in the lower bracket as well, I suspect with Sprout v Movistar, I think Movistar will beat Sprout and they'll qualify. Sprout will have one of their uncharacteristic, inconsistent games, and they will lose. They will not uncharacteristic, their characteristic, inconsistent game, they will lose. Then we've got 00 Nation v Big. I think Big should qualify. Big are definitely the stronger team. Even though they lost a battle against Outsiders, Big's probably their first team that you want to avoid, because they are a very, very strong team, and they had a very tough run going against Outsiders. Next one will be Order v Astralis, and I think Astralis is going to qualify here. Order, I gotta say, if they can't lose their first BO3, otherwise their bracket is very tough versus either Spirit or Astralis, realistically, and that's going to be very, very difficult to overcome. Not gonna lie, very, very difficult. And at last but not least, MRBR v Mouse. This will be a crazy BO3, and it'll be really sad to see MRBR and Mouse going out, but I think Mouse are going to go through, and MRBR are going to be missing ESL Cologne. I gotta say, so probably the last lower final will be the most unfair, given the fact that both MIBR and Mouse are quite good teams. But, somehow that's the way the cookie crumbles. You can't, get all the teams that you want in. Like, I would prefer, basically Vitality. I'd say if Vitality and MIBR switched, it may be a different story. But we'll see what happens. Next up, we're going to have the rest of the team. So we got the rest of the teams being FaZe, Na'Vi, Ents, Cloud9, G2, Furia, Nip, and Liquid, and the reality of winning the event, okay? FaZe, I gotta say, FaZe are probably the favorites here to win the event, okay? I think FaZe have got a really strong team. They've got Rops, Brokey, Twist, Ray, and Carrigan, good coach in Robin, great AGL, great consistent players overall, great AWPer as well, Brokey being picked out in the Latavian scene, and Rops being in Estonian as well, a lot of Baltic players in here. Heck, who likes this, by the way? and they've been very, very solid, incredibly solid. They had a bit of a rocky patch, but I think they've recovered from it so far. Next up, we got Navi. Navi will be the second favorite simple. However, loss of basically a few losses of some key players has hurt them a bit, with SDUI going to replace one of with Boomich going out and Electronic IGLing. And this has actually been an interesting one with Electronic IGLing, is that Navi have played pretty well with Electronic IGLing, and you're sitting there going like, geez, like it feels like Boomich was never there to begin with sometimes with the IGL role, and maybe the coach making the calls. But we'll see. Basically, we'll see how that goes. There is such thing as a honeymoon period, so you got to be very, very careful on being like, hey, Electronics, the new IGL. There's a bit of a honeymoon period at the moment, and many teams have not played against Electronic as an IGL, so Electronics and Boomich's IGLs and strategies may differ quite a bit. But you got Ents, so I'm going to say this team is definitely overachieving. This team is overachieving so much in such a short amount of time. Not in a bad way, okay? They're playing well above their skill level, okay? Well above their skill level. And this is just more credit to Ents as a team. They've built a team. They've resisted getting Alu back in the lineup, and thank God they did, okay? Thank God they did. They picked up Hades instead, and Hades just been a godsend, okay? Just been an absolute godsend. Snappy as IGL. Snappies must be enjoying a great second coming as well. Now, as I said about Alu, I'm not sure what's going on there, but with the entire end situation before, with all the Finnish players, it left a really bad taste in my mouth, and, in the drama there, I think the Finnish players do have a point. I mean, when you get Sunny, Ariel, and a lot of people leaving because of one person, there is something wrong there. But good to see that, Saw, he's back in with a good lineup as well. Deha was a great pickup. Spinks was a great pickup. Maiden's a great pickup. They got so many quality players in there as well. It's good to see. And it's a spot they're definitely achieving above what they should do generally. Being third place, I reckon Ents will go pretty far. I gotta say congratulations to Ents. Thinking of these individual players, you wouldn't think they'd go too deep in ESL Cologne at all, but they will. Okay, they will. They'll prove everyone wrong. Cloud9. Sorry, actually I call him Clown. Sorry. Do a bit of a meme. But I reckon Cloud9 are pretty good. You got Hobbit. This team's been together for quite a while, and they've improved immensely since 2 to 3 years ago. Gambit, well, give them a big credit for developing this roster and sticking with this roster, given the fact that their roster just fell apart, and they stayed at this project, and look what it's become now. Become an absolute world-beating team. I reckon it should continue. They will get pretty further in. They should beat in their play-in team. They might have a few rough patches against Navi, FaZe, and stuff like that, more the favourites of the tournament. It'll be a big bustle, and it'll be good to see. G2, I've got to say, is that G2 are underachieving. They're definitely achieving less than they should have. Again, they've got all the pieces together now. You got Nico, you got Hunter, you got your IGL, you got your star young Orpa. What more do you need at this stage? You even got the star coach from Vitality. You gotta achieve something. If G2 do not at least get semi-finals or grand finals or win, I reckon, actually, no, you know what? Go a bold pick here. If they do not win, this is not good, okay? They have to win this event, okay? They have to win a LAN. They cannot be bridesmaid or in semi-finals. They have to win this, okay? G2 are going to say make or break here because they've got everything together. They missed out in the last major, barely too simple. They have to win here, okay? They have to win here. There's no ifs or buts. You have to win. You have to win the entire event, okay? Doesn't matter if it's a low chance of them winning it. Their main goal is to win this event because at this point, they've lost too many LANs. They've got everyone together. There's no excuses anymore. You just do it on the server. Furia, they're in trouble, okay? After not qualifying for Challenger, that is pretty diabolical, okay? To be fair, though, they could be saving themselves for Cologne, so it could have been a bit of practice run, stuff like that. But they were just bullied, okay? They were just bullied and qualifying without... no, not qualifying. Being eliminated without losing a single map is not good at all, okay? Not good at all for this roster. And I hope it's not a sign of things to go because otherwise they're going out to a few play-in teams. Nip. I gotta say, we haven't heard for them much at the moment, but this roster is very solid, okay? This roster is very, very good with Brolan being added to the roster and Estetak going in New York, which would have sent it to a lot of people being like, oh no, this roster is falling apart with Device leaving. But this roster's performed quite well, with the addition of Brolan and stuff like that. They've really coupled together key maps as well. And also, Nip haven't played too much. This allows them to boot camp a lot more and pack against a lot more of these teams as well. And we should see them get pretty far, Nip, okay? Next up, we got Liquid, okay? And, well, Liquid, they got Yakinda. They got their boy. will this improve them to an extent that they can realistically win the tournament? Probably not. Okay, to be honest, probably not. They haven't officially signed him yet. He's just a stand-in, so I'm not sure if the sign is going to hand. Even if they got your Kinder in the roster, I don't think they have the firepower to really match some of the play-in teams as well as some of the top teams as well. Liquid, if they make it past second round, it will be considered a win overall for the roster, in my opinion. But you want to win the entire thing, of course, as well. You know, if they win, if Liquid win ESL Cologne, it's a massive win for them, okay? And a massive win for NACS as well. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. Overall, what I'm going to say overall, who's going to probably win the entire tournament, I'll probably say is most likely to be FaZe. It's probably going to be G2's last chance, I'm going to say. Not last chance for the roster, but last chance if they really want to win a roster before player break. They need to be hungry and win this, and G2 need this desperately. Now, other teams you could possibly look at is NiP, Na'Vi, and ENCE. They have a good shot at winning this as well as Cloud9. Basically, some of the playing teams can even have a chance as well with Heroic and Mouse and stuff like that. But hopefully event fatigue doesn't come in as well when you've played so many BO3s, where the fatigue kind of sets in as well when you've played so much CSGO, so much pressure's been on you and stuff like that. But overall, this should be a great event. We've got some high quality teams, and given what I've said, who qualify, stuff like that, we'll have some top quality CSGO, and it'll be decided by a lot of 1% plays. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I didn't edit this video in the end, given the fact that Cologne is coming up very, very shortly. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you guys later.